Hey guys, Center Magic here, and boy is Modern Masters 3 getting a little bit complicated. Now, a lot of people are making like a narrative pushing video, because they heard something and like, oh, that's unbelievable. But you got to take a step back and look at this entire situation to really appreciate what a complete catastrophe it is. And then actually you probably realize that it isn't and everybody's just misinterpreting it. So we're going to do the polar opposite of what like 24-hour cable news networks do. Not that they'd be covering this story, but just, actually push something instead of just a dramatic headline. Oh, they did this did this, he did this, they did this. Oh my gosh, I'm so outraged. Share it with your friends, they can get outraged too. Just kidding, we're trying to sell ads and get views. So this is going to be really disjointed and out of order, but I'm just going to throw all the facts out here. So what we know is everybody was getting nervous about Modern Masters 3 because, one, there were no spoilers, although everybody has to place the orders before we get any spoilers for every set ever. So that ain't news to us resellers. Second, they opened it up to non-WPN locations. Okay, so no, like they've never done that before, I don't think. Well, it's not like they've printed this 20 times. Nobody knows what that's going to do. So that's making people a little bit nervous too. And then the artwork gets leaked, and it's 3 completely crappy cards, or at least 2 completely crappy cards. Whoopsies! Clear it all out. Sell it for $180. Sell some pre-orders. Then the spoilers start coming out, and it's like, oh, it actually doesn't suck. And then everybody wants it. So people who were like calling up their distributors, canceling the orders, are calling them back up saying, can I get triple what I initially canceled? Well, guess what? No. Worse yet, Wizards was telling everybody, oh, don't worry, we're not going to super short print this. This is not Eternal Masters, the first wave. We're not going to like artificially short this. Yeah, it's a limited set, but there's going to be enough to go around, was, I believe, their word-for-word statement from what I heard. So then everybody's like, oh, cool. And then there's a rumor that they're going to print 5X from people who I guess didn't know what the hell they're talking about. Although that is still to be seen, so we can't completely discount that yet. So then everybody who wanted it was like, oh, wait a minute, so now it's expensive. Oh, but they're printing it to death and non-WPN locations are going to get it. I'm going to have to compete too hard with the internet. Screw it. And now it's back down to, believe it or not, between $190 to $205 a box on eBay. Oh my God. I'm actually getting worried about my ability to make a profit on this, and I just had a bunch of expenses jump up, so I need some damn money. Well, another factor that drove the price down was it went from over 500 box EV to, 400 and then back down to about 350. I don't actually know what it's at now. I suspected sub 300 maybe. I don't know if it would really get that bad. I heard that there are about 50% of the rares that are under $1. That is not so good, and I think $48 for a Scalding Tarn might be a little optimistic. Now, there are some solid uncommons, but I all I know is that like they were $10. I didn't really check up on every single one what they are now because it doesn't matter to me until next week. Oh, wait. Oh, crap. It's coming out this week. Whatever. I guess it matters to me right now, and after I record this, I'm going to go check. I've been so busy and crap and lack of sleep. I don't even know what day it is. I don't know what week it is. I'm lucky I know what month it is. I was actually fairly confident that St. Patrick's Day already happened. Apparently it didn't. I'm 1/8 Irish. I legally have to know. It's a law, actually, in Wisconsin. All Irish citizens must be aware of when St. Patrick's Day is. It's state statute number. So anyway, okay, so everybody gets the full price list, and everybody's like, I want to be the first to dump off my singles. So if they're a big old-timey singles seller, I'm not saying they've been around for a while. I mean, they hold cards that are 10 years old. Like they have 20, 30, 40 Snapcaster Mages in stock. They want to be the first ones to clear them before the price just goes down the toilet. So everybody and their grandma that owns cards that are in Modern Masters 3 just listed it for sale and tried to liquidate it. Well, what does that do? It drives the price down, it drives the singles price down, and that drives the box EV down before the boxes are even released. So like I said, now they're probably floating in around 300, maybe a little bit lower, and it's not looking so good. Because the cards from Modern Masters 3 just hit the market before Modern Masters 3 even did. That's the problem with reprint sets. I think that's why Wizards waited so long to release the spoiler list, because they don't want to give people like an extra week to sell off these singles and devalue the set. I believe that's also why they haven't said anything about a second shipment, second wave, or second whatever. There's mounting evidence that there won't be one, but I still feel like there really will be one. So the price is going up and down and up and down and up and down, and since there's tons of money to be made, potentially, everybody's getting greedy as hell and screwing each other over and backstabbing each other. So you had the shady people on eBay and Amazon and all that pulling pre-orders. They're like, oh, a jet plane just destroyed my LGS. I have to cancel your pre-order. And by the way, would you like to buy some more boxes for $230? I mean, they were just lying. They were just outright scamming the system. A ton of them got booted off of eBay. I heard there was an investigation, so that's awesome. And then when the prices hit like $240 and people were placing a pre-order for, $230, $240, whatever it hit. I don't know if it truly hit $240, but I think I saw $235 is the low. But now it's $207. Now the customers are canceling their damn orders. I heard rumors that that's going on. So the customers are just as dickish as the vendors. I mean, everybody's greedy. This is unbelievable. This is why nobody should pre-order anything ever. Just freaking pick it up on day one, for God's sake. I would bet you that the same customers canceling the orders are ones that had vendors cancel their order before, and now they feel entitled to rip them off. So that all turned into a mess, complete disaster. And then you got the normal vendors at WPN locations and the actual stores. Yeah, there's a difference between those two. That is not redundant. They're getting nervous because, non-WPN, who knows what that's going to do? Now more people have it that shouldn't. Are there even going to be enough to go around? Well, the answer is no, because a ton of local gaming stores, even just in my area and that I heard about on Twitter, they're getting their orders cut and shortened. And I usually say, I'm not going to say which distributor for legal reasons. I'm so scared of getting sued. Southern Hobby. That's SOUTHERNHOBBY. That is the distributor who's been the most dickish in all of this, from what I've heard, in my opinion. Legalese, blah, 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 disclaimer. One of my friends in the area owns another local gaming store. He got his order cut from, I don't even know what it was, probably like 6, 7, 8 cases to 2 boxes. 2 boxes. That's 2. Not 2 cases, 2 boxes. Half a case. FYI, there are 4 to a case this time around. How the hell do you do that? How is that a thing? How does that happen? And this is like the 8th time he's gotten screwed over by Southern Hobby. I mean, he's not amazingly high volume, but he's probably roughly equivalent to me, if not a little bit higher on certain orders. But from what I've heard from everybody everywhere ever, at least this is what I've heard, I haven't verified this, but Southern Hobby likes to cut everybody's order. And it's not because they get less from Wizards. It's basically because they're crooked as hell. If somebody orders 1,000 boxes, they're like, seems legit. I'm so sure that's not an online bulk reseller that's ruining the entire market and everything. Let's send to them. We don't have enough boxes. Who should we steal them from? Oh, every other small LGS, because screw them. They're just a nuisance. All they order is $5,000 worth. We don't even want them as customers. We want the guy who spends $250,000. That is at least the impression I'm getting, and that's the rumor, that's the word on the street. If you are going into business as an LGS, do not use Southern Hobby. Just don't. I mean, I've heard complaints about their agents, their customer service, their shipping, them lying about amounts, cutting orders. It's just not worth them screwing with your business. Do not give them your business. If anybody who works at Southern Hobby would like to dispute that, get in contact with me, because I'd love to hear the other side of the story, which I think we all know there isn't one. So actually just shut the hell up. I'm not interested in hearing from you. Hey, by the way, FYI, you want more proof? Rudy from Alpha Investments uses 4 distributors, and none of them are Southern Hobby. That should tell you about what Southern Hobby's reputation is. In fact, just Google it if you don't believe me. So enough of the Southern Hobby hate hour. Apparently, my distributor, ACD Distributors, completely cut Kevin from Rogue Deck Builder's order. At least that's what I heard. I don't know if it was like cut significantly or cut completely. It sounded like it was cut completely. Like, hey, you want 50 cases? Well, you're getting 0. Screw you. He's more of a legit frickin' LGS than me and my friend combined. Like, it's an actual local gaming store. In fact, they have like exclusive, range. They don't have any competition in town. So They're really important. It's kind of important that they get stuff. Nobody can go anywhere else. I've never heard of ACD doing that. I've never had a major problem with them. Any problem I've had with them is really just Wizard screwing them over and them passing it down to me. They did cut my order by 33%, unfortunately, but they had to. I mean, like he's upfront with me, the agent. He tells me what's up. He said, we all of a sudden got a ton of additional orders. Everybody upped their order. And obviously, they don't find out how much they're getting from Wizards until like the last second. So they don't even know how many pre-orders to take. So everybody's like, oh, they lowered my order. Yes, because the product doesn't physically exist. The Wizard said, we're sending, 1 million boxes. Have fun. And they have orders for 1.5 million. Well, they go across the board and cut everybody. It's just what happens. Thank God they aren't Southern Hobby and they don't say, well, let's remove 90% from this person and 0% from that person. That seems fair. They don't unevenly penalize the little guys, I should say. Well, except for Kevin, it sounds like, where they eliminated, I guess, his entire order. It's kind of weird. I mean, I literally made my order on the last day it was allowed to be made because I didn't know it was a non-WPN product. And then I upped it at the last second, and then they slashed it back down to my original order, which is kind of funny, actually. So just chronologically, in order, I should have been the first one to get cut. There's no reason to start screwing with Kevin, especially since he's totally going to go online and tear them to pieces. Seriously, Kev, make a video about it. I mean, my old local gaming store pissed me off, and I not only made a video about it, I made a series about it. I think it's a playlist, actually. I'm in talks to get a cable TV series about my local gaming store from hell. Just kidding, I'm not, but that'd be really funny. Also, I mean, if anybody's interested, hit me up. So the summary, the short version is, okay, distributors had to cut everybody's. Some of them did it in a more crooked manner than others. And then apparently some of them did just entirely eliminate people's orders for no apparent reason. I don't really get that. Now, without getting into details, I agree with almost everything that Wizards did. There was very strong, reasonable, correct logic about when they released what, when the spoilers came out, what they said, when they said it, who they told it to. I get it. I mean, some of it was shady and misleading and dishonest, but I get it. I get the logic. They had to do it to keep this from being even more of a disaster. They had to handle this very carefully, and they did. Okay, that's just like, you'll just have to take my word for it because it would be like a 20-minute explanation. It's all math, economics, planning, past experience, all that, but it all went together, and I think they could have handled it a little bit better, but they did a pretty good job. So these are just the side effects. This is what distributors do. This is what people on eBay do. This is what customers do. It's just everybody's greedy. It's what dickish people do. There you go. There's the situation. So everything that happened pretty much had to happen. I mean, this isn't like, it looks like a complete disaster and a complete like roller coaster, but that's just because that's what happens when you release a set like this. Now, the one thing that we do know is that Modern Masters 2 had a certain print volume, and I don't believe it had a second wave. I don't know if anybody ever confirmed that, but they said that MM3 is a similar size. That has been 100% confirmed by my vendor, my rep, multiple distributors, multiple people. Okay, so that's just the word on the street now. So the whole 5X rumor, whoever made that up, screw you, I hate you, die. Well, I suppose unless it actually turns out to be correct in the future. What you have to know, though, is I could see there not being a second wave of printing or of shipments or whatever, but I could also see there being one. So, really unclear, and I know that logically Wizards will not let people know until the very last second. That's to preserve the price and to up sales. Simple as that. The one thing that I find completely unnatural, unnecessary, and in need of fixing is pretty much what I've already hinted at. Why the hell is this being sent in such high quantities to people that they know damn well are selling online? There should be a hard cap, because at a certain point, unless you are literally Walmart, you're not going to need 2,000 cases or boxes or whatever I've been seeing be pre-sold. And people do not pre-sell 90% of what they think they're getting. They pre-sell like a small portion of what they think they're getting. So these people probably are getting 5,000 to 10,000 boxes. How does that not raise a red flag? And, I say that completely sarcastically and rhetorically. It does. It's just that Wizards doesn't care. And that's what needs to be fixed. If they don't care that they're putting their own local gaming stores out of business by letting people sell for $3 profit a box on standard boxes, and then on Modern Masters, just saying screw it to WPN because everybody abuses it and lies anyway. They need to just say nobody on planet Earth, including the big ones you've heard of, Card Kingdom, all them, the ones notorious for selling sealed product and singles online. Great. Just because you've heard of them and they're big doesn't mean that it's any more okay than some no-name guy out in some state you've barely heard of. Or I should say city. You better have heard of all 50 states. I mean, come on. They should just say nobody gets more than, I'll say, 50 cases. Or maybe, at least base it on past sales, but then you can't really do that either because there's past online sales. I would do it on the event reporting system, base it on that. Say, oh, in the last year, you've had 150 unique people in your system at DCI tournaments. You're now a tier 4, store. We'll send you 100 cases if you want, up to 100 cases. At that size, a huge portion of the boxes have to be eaten up locally because local people want them and it's cheaper to sell to local people. That's just how it works. If they throw up 25-50% of that online because that's what's left over, whatever. I mean, okay, that's nowhere near somebody selling 5,000 boxes online with some little, out of their mother's garage and they faked all the photos to pretend they're a store. That's what they need to get rid of. And unfortunately, that would cost money and it would also lose Wizards money. But guess what? Wizards has never been good at this. The long run, long term. If LGSs start going out of business, I don't know if you ever heard this before, but there's only about 6,800 of them in the world. The whole world, not even just the US, the world. There's 6,800 locations that sell Magic cards. Or I should say WPN locations. I believe that's what they used for the number. That's kind of not a lot. So if 500 of them, which, I mean, come on, 500 worldwide, that's nothing. That is such a small number. I mean, that's like one per US state and like one per country almost. If one local gaming store per US state and one per country in the rest of the world goes out of business, holy crap, is that a big percentage of them? Just think how easy that is to happen. Then for every one of those, they lose, we'll say 50 to 100 customers because you can't play Magic anymore unless you play casually. If you don't have a place to play, X amount of people are just going to stop playing. And that's why Wizards doubles down on not giving a crap. They run MTGO. If you want to keep playing Magic, you got to jump online and buy digital cards. No distribution, no shipping, no middleman. So Wizards really doesn't seem to care about your local gaming store or any of them. If there was no more places left to play, they just wouldn't give a crap, it seems. Because whatever, people can throw them up on their little Amazon store and get products to anywhere in the world in one day, whatever. But seriously, I mean, without structured play and people saying, oh, there's a whole place where we all get together on a regular schedule, regularly, special prizes, it's all organized, we got the space, all that. It's not just, oh, let's meet in my friend's basement on his card table and play for a little bit with no prizes. That's not really sustainable. So, MTGO is awful. It's a terrible product. It's complete garbage. So I don't think they should be leaning on either one of those. I think they should be doing everything they can to make it profitable to be a local gaming store, because for everyone that goes out, there's probably 3 more that heard about one that went out, heard it's a terrible industry to be in, and didn't even start a new store in the first place. And whether places are successful or not, they close when people retire. I mean, or the owner dies or just whatever, anything. There's a divorce and they need money, they shut down the business, or they just hate being in the business, shut down. So you're going to lose some, you gotta replace them. So if everybody hears, oh, Magic isn't profitable and this isn't profitable, that isn't profitable, and the internet's killing board games, then guess what? Nobody's going to open a hobby store or an LGS. And like I said, you really do need them at the end of the day. You do need structured, organized play. So Wizards, stop being so stupid. Plus, switch a whole bunch of crap in the future. Little made-up products and special gimmicky promos and crap and special prizes. Keep doing that kind of stuff, like the 3-card packs that you gave away for whatever the hell, Standard Showdown or whatever it was. Or like leagues or whatever. I don't remember. I still don't remember the difference. Keep sending crap like that to local gaming stores, because that's the only place you can get them. I mean, yes, you could literally go to every event, win about 6 packs, and then put them on eBay yourself personally, but you won't see somebody putting 10,000 of those packs on eBay. It's like From the Vault. From the Vault is one of the most successful product models there is. Every single local gaming store gets exactly their allocation, and that's that. I don't think that there's a discretionary fund there, or discretionary amount, or whatever, inventory, whatever they call it. So it's like, if you're tier 2, you get 6 from the vaults at the end. There you go, done. So yeah, you can get them on eBay. for $110. The MSRP is $34.99, by the way. That's just like a huge little incentive to show up to your local gaming store because that's where you can get it. It's not at Walmart. It's not at, hardware stores. That's got to be my favorite story, by the way. Crap, that reminds me. I was supposed to get some keys cut today and I forgot. Anyway, you got to make it profitable. You got to have these prizes where people could justify maybe charging 10 for a special event on the weekend instead of 5 because you could win prizes worth 40, 50, 60 bucks. Special land giveaways and that kind of stuff. They need to triple down on that stuff. I mean, I'd give out just alternate art versions of stuff, double the number of F&M promos. It costs Wizards nothing to run that stuff off. Then all they'd have to focus on for corruption is crooked LGSs that either are completely fake or keep half or all the prizes, like all the F&M promos, and just put them on an online, outlet by themselves, and the players never know it, and then nobody ever gets reported, except the players usually do know it, and they do get reported. So it's not that big of a deal. Or I should say it is a big deal. It's not that big of a problem. That would solve this whole problem. Do I think that they should take, products like Modern Masters and make them go back to WPN and then do nothing but allocations? It would certainly solve some problems, and it would certainly make thousands of extra dollars for these stores. But I don't know. It doesn't seem smart because it could possibly shrink Wizards' total sold product by 75%. No joke. So if they make $100 million, well, now they're making $25 million. That's a bit of a loss. And the loss comes from people who don't live near a local gaming store, people who can only go on eBay and Amazon and Card Kingdom and all that and order a box of Modern Masters from the internet. That's the only place they can get it unless they want to drive for 4 hours or something. So they'd be cutting out those people entirely. The only solution truly is for Wizards to sell them on their own site for MSRP and ship anywhere in the world. Cut out the distributor, cut out the middlemen, cut out all the second middlemen that the distributors are selling thousands to, because come on. And then just have a web store. $240 a box. You want a box? $240. There you go. And they could ship it to anywhere in the world, and still the local gaming stores would be allocation only. We're talking WPN only, allocation only. So people who live out in Timbuktu and just play with their friends and they need cards, there you go. They could buy the sealed product there. The only problem is singles. The singles market would be horrific, but I don't know. It ain't a perfect plan, but economically, I think that would be the best for Wizards. It might not be the best for the players in the community, but it would be a good compromise. So just some food for thought. Thought I'd, drop my 2 cents in on the whole situation of everything going up and down, everybody backstabbing each other, canceling orders and getting the orders canceled and all that. But in general, they really need to start treating local gaming stores a little bit more fairly and ensuring that they make money. And they probably should have, banned some cards out of standard. That might have helped a little bit too. Yeah, I'm going to be mentioning that for a while now, a couple months at least. So that's the Modern Masters update for this week. I'll see you guys next video. See you guys.